What's up?
Life of a hustler, gotta do it for mother, gotta do it for father, even though he act like a sucker. Life of a hustler, gotta do it for granny, gotta do it for brothers, even if they think I don't love them. Been getting active and hustling.
What's up? We back with another episode of the More Action Podcast. It's your host, Brandon J. And today, we are going to be doing a tiny little review so that way you can go into 2025 with the best information possible to get your credit right. Let's go. All right. So, with that being said, we are going to talk about the basics yet again. People have been following me since the beginning of this year. And if you haven't learned anything about credit by now, you probably just turned the video off too early, to be honest with you. Because I've been teaching, but it's okay to review. It's okay to go back and start over, you know what I mean? Because there are people who joined later. There are people who've been here since the beginning. But the point is, 2025, that's going to be the year. That's going to be the year. A lot of you going to see a 700 credit score. A lot of you going to see that new car, that new apartment, house, whatever your goal is. Maybe you're starting a business. Maybe you are just now getting into your credit for the first time. You've never established credit, but for the first time you're about to. And that way you can pass it on to your kids and maybe help a friend or two. The point is, back to the basics. So, the basics, what are they? You need to understand that your credit score is just a combination of points that you get after certain actions you take regarding your credit. Payments, adding on new credit. You know what I'm saying? How much of the credit are you using? All of these things equal out to a certain amount of points, which I'll put in another video in full detail. But think about it. Every time you're spending your credit, you're not spending your money. You're spending someone else's money. So it's all under surveillance. They see everything. Every time you spend $100, but you only pay back $20, they watch it. The interest, you may not mind paying it back. So you give it a little time. You pay the minimums a couple months in a row and you pay it off in full. That's fine. But you still get a bank rating. The bank is going to notice that you don't pay your balance is off in full every time. You only do it sometimes. So your credit score may look good, but your bank rating may not look the best. And your relationship with the bank has a lot to do with how much further you can build your credit card, because there's things like limit increases. We've talked about this throughout the year. Every 91 days, you have the opportunity to get a credit limit increase. All you gotta do is ask, especially if you already have credit card. It's the best thing you can do every 91 days, because that can help your utilization go down. Let's talk about utilization. What is that? Your utilization is the amount of credit you're using. So if you have $10,000 in credit available, you're using 1,000. That's 10% utilization, which is, what did I say? Yeah. I said 10,000. I got lost real quick, but 10,000 in credit. You're using 1,000. That's 10% utilization. That's amazing. 30%, the credit bureaus will still give you a good score. So 10% is amazing. But there are things that kind of sound like common sense, but a lot of people don't realize it can affect your score in a big way. Utilization, payment history, the new credit you're applying for. Every time you apply for anything new, a car, an apartment, a credit card, you're getting a hard inquiry, which is going to drop your score temporarily. So if you get a new credit card, don't flip out when your score goes down 10 points, 15 points. That's what happens every time you apply for something. The only time it doesn't happen is when you can get multiple products within the same hard pool, within the same inquiry. Cards like American Express, I've heard people do this. They get 3 or 4 cards with American Express, 1 hard inquiry, because if you do them in a certain amount of time, they don't have to check your credit more than once. You know what I mean? So just keep this in mind. You have to pay attention to everything that you're doing attached to your credit. You also have your mix of credit. Do you have car loans? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have credit cards? Do you only have one credit card? You have student loans. All of these are different types of loans. You can have a personal loan, which is completely different from a credit card. Keep this in mind. There are things people just don't think about. Little details. A personal loan, you get one of those, $20,000. Once you pay it back, that money's gone. You don't have $20,000 anymore to borrow again. If you get a $20,000 credit card, that's revolving credit. You spend the $20,000, you pay it back, that $20,000 is right there to use yet again. That's the difference between loans and credit. That's why I love credit. You know, it's one of the main reasons I love credit. Credit allows you to get back time and energy, because what is money? It's really just people's converted time and energy. You go to work for what? You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing making things work, because everything we buy was created by somebody while they were at work. Everything that everybody buys, somebody worked to make it. Now we get it with the money we earned working. And if we aren't working, we're providing jobs for the people who are ready and willing to work, which is still basically work, but it's running a business. You see what I'm saying? And all of this is the reason why credit is so important to me. You know what I mean? Like, there are people who spend a lot of time to earn $5,000, $10,000, but if you know the right information, you can go get that overnight. You just saved yourself $5,000, $10,000 worth of time and energy. How long will it take you right now with the job that you have, no credit at all, to save $5,000, $10,000? Everybody has a different time, time situation. Like, some people would take half a year. Some people would take, a couple months. Some people would take a couple years. But all of those people can be put on the same level playing field with one credit card. That's why I love credit. It is what it is. You save time and energy, and now you can use the money on something that creates money. Remember that. Assets and liabilities. Don't use your credit to buy liabilities. Money is worth less every day we hold on to it. So if you buy a liability, your money's not growing. If anything, it's now shrinking. But it was already doing that. You know what I mean? Like, if you have $100 in the bank and you don't touch it for a year, it's still gonna be $100. But all the prices and everything are gonna go up, which makes your $100 worth less. Which is why you shouldn't put your money in a bank or into liabilities. You should put your money into assets or vehicles of growth, stocks. You know what I'm saying? Real estate, yourself, a business, invest. Everybody doesn't have to invest in stocks and real estate. Investing in yourself can give you a good ROI. Return on investment. You need to put knowledge in your head that you can now go out into the world and make more money than you did before you knew it. You're not any better than the person who doesn't know information if you don't do anything with information. The guy over there doesn't know that you can take credit, other people's money, use it to purchase things that other people want at a low price, and then just sell it to the people at a higher price and keep the profit, pay back the credit card without any interest if that guy doesn't know it, but I do. And I don't do that. I don't take my credit and, spend it on supplies to do certain jobs and things like that. I use my own money. I put my own money at risk. I'm no better than the guy who doesn't know anything about it. Both of us are in the same spot. That's pointless. I should know to use the information that's in my brain instead of using my money to purchase supplies I might need to get a job done or materials that somebody else will buy at a higher price. I'll use someone else's money in case the transaction goes bad. It's another thing. Credit is the safest way to go. When you use your debit card, you're putting your money at risk. When you're using credit card, you're putting the bank's money at risk. And everybody's like, oh, well, nowadays you can dispute a debit card. So if I use my debit, it's just like credit card kind of, because I can dispute it and give. Listen, the point is, it's your money. That's the point. You can dispute it. It may, not take too long to fix the problem and get your money back into the account. But just imagine if the same situation happened with someone else's money. If you had $100 in your debit checking account and $1,000 on your credit card, you spent $80 on the credit card and something went wrong. Product was broken, never showed up to your house. You still have $100 in your checking account, and you have the ability now to call the bank and say, hey, that $80 I just spent, I would like to dispute because the transaction didn't go well and I never received my product actually. The bank will credit you that $80 back because it was never yours in the first place. It was actually theirs, and they don't play about their money. Same situation, your money, now you only got $20. Let's say you run out of gas. You gonna use the whole 20? Fill up the gas tank, or you gonna put 5 in the tank? So you got 15 left over while you wait on the bank to get your $80 back to you. I just play these scenarios out. That's it. You know what I mean? And I'm going on a rant here because there's so many basics that I feel everybody knows, but not everybody knows the things I'm saying right now. And if you do, good. You've been studying with me. You've been listening to my videos. That's the point. These things should be like the back of your hand. You should know it like the back of your hand, And as I'm talking, more and more things are coming to mind, but trying to put them in order takes a little time. So I'm just gonna, take it easy. I'm gonna let y'all sit here with me, relax with me. You know what I mean? Enjoy this refreshment, this review. This video has no specific point other than reviewing the basics. Okay? You have to play this credit game as long as you want your score and your report to be spotless. You have to play the game. You can't just get into it and then once your score goes up, leave it alone. Because here's something else I want to throw in. Another basic review. If you do not use your credit card, after a while, they might cancel it. That's the last thing you want. To cancel a credit card on purpose, or for the bank to cancel it because you did not use it every time you get a credit card. The point of the credit card is to be used. It doesn't matter if you're spending $20 off of a $2,000 credit card, or if you're spending $100 off of a $20,000 credit card, or maybe the whole $20,000, as long as you can pay it back. Stop using your debit. Use the credit card and don't get canceled. Don't get your account closed by lack of use. That will happen. It'll lower your limits. Both of those things can mess up all of those other components I told you about before that are on your credit. Your history, your age, utilization. If they take the money away, what is there to have age? What is there to report utilization. And if you had multiple cards, you just messed up the numbers because all of these are added by each credit card you have. Payment history on all of your credit cards, the utilization across all of your available credit. If you have 2 cards that are $10,000, you have $20,000 in available credit as far as the credit bureau see it. Okay? These things are things you need to keep in mind. In my opinion, let's talk about automatic payments for a second. I don't think you should do automatic payments. Some people need to do it because you have a lot, going on and a lot more things to focus on. And some people can't, pay each bill manually. But right now, stage of, this credit game that I'm in, every time I pay off a credit card, it's manually. I don't do automatic payments. Because you never know. If, for some reason, the money that you need to pay that credit card off is not in your debit checking account, you can get a late payment, and because it's automatic, you forgot to even check. And now if a late payment stays for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, that's reported to your credit. Credit score is going to go down. It's going to take a lot more time, energy, or money to get that late payment removed off of your credit report. These things here that I'm saying, little reviews, little basics, it's what we need to go into 2025 with the best strategy. Also, knowing that this is just a game and I can win as easily as anybody else has. What are the 3 credit bureaus? Who is responsible for our credit scores? Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. These are the credit bureaus that you can look up your credit score online. Experian is my favorite. There's an app, Experian. You can go follow your credit score. So, with all the credit bureaus in mind, understand that each credit card pulls from a different credit bureau. Some of them pull from all 3. This is public information. You can see what credit bureaus credit cards pull from by simply searching it on Google. You can go on websites like Credit Boards. You can go on to the bank app, and usually they'll tell you on there where they pull from. And after you understand that certain banks like Navy Federal, for example, pull from TransUnion, and American Express pulls from Experian, you can get cards from each credit bureau and basically have less inquiries on your report, because these credit bureaus don't communicate with each other. Okay, they only communicate with the banks that they're partnered with. So if I get a card with Navy Fed and one card with American Express, those inquiries don't pop up on the same credit report. They pop up on 2 different ones. So now when I go to apply for the second card on either or, Experian or TransUnion, they only see one inquiry. So this is some of the basic information I want you to go into 2025 with. I want y'all to understand this is just a game. And once you really sit down and pay attention to these rules and have patience, you can win. It's too easy. 2025 is going to be a good year. You saw the trips that I took this year. You saw the information that I took. You saw the people I met. I'm about to meet a lot more people. And the trips, believe me, it's all going to be educational, but it's going to be a good time. So if you've been rocking with me since January, I appreciate you. I appreciate you watching each video every Tuesday and taking this information. Hopefully it's been helping your personal situation or your business situation. Okay? So, that being said, let me just give one last final review tip about not just your personal credit, but your business credit. There is an option called personal guarantee. If you have an LLC that you started, or you have a business that you've been running for years, and your personal credit is in good standing, you can get money for your business up to 3 times as much as they'd give you on the personal side by co-signing for your business with your personal credit score. Now, you're still responsible for the credit if something were to go wrong, but all of the spending and all of the credit is in your business name, which leaves your personal credit score in good standing in case you're trying to do something like get another car or a house, apartment, another credit card, while you're also getting business credit. Okay, so if you have a business that's 2 years old or older, you could probably get some credit for your business with stated income. But if your business isn't making that much money, or your business is younger than 2 years, you can use your personal credit score to get money for your business in the business name. This is why working on your personal credit score can benefit you in more places than just one. All of that being said, I'm your host, Brandon J. This was another episode of the More Action Podcast. Basics. The basics are always where it's at. The fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen dudes playing basketball, old school, and they don't really do much. They don't do no flashy stuff on the court. They just do the fundamentals. That's where I feel I'm at right now with this credit. I'm not going crazy and doing all this extra stuff. Right now, I'm really focused on the basics. I want to talk to the younger kids who are just getting started with credit. You know, the business and making a bunch of money with your credit score, that is a whole nother level that I'm going to reach. But right now, we have to take it easy. You know what I'm saying? Review, refresh, and notice stuff like the back of our hand, you know. Subscribe, like, comment. And until next time, it's More Action Podcast. Work on your credit, learn something, and don't buy liabilities, assets only. 2025 is going to be the year that you start your business, that you hit your first 700 credit score. Okay, that you get that new car, whatever it is. You have to start thinking about it now. The year is over. Just because Thanksgiving's coming, you know what I'm saying? Just because we're in November doesn't mean your mindset doesn't need to be in 2025. Be present, be in the moment. But when you are thinking, when you are making things happen and putting ideas together, do it from the perspective of next year. Be the person. Do the things and get the things that you want. It's Brandon J. It's More Action Podcast. Peace.